Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. Closing out the month of January, so I wanted to go through my January 2017 budget. So last day, I want to go through it and just give everyone an update on how I'm progressing so far. So let's get into it and let's get started. So I'll start with income. So I had about $168 left over from December that rolled over into January. Also, I had income from my job, and then there was a couple of contract to jobs that I had as well. I don't want to go into the actual details of how much I actually make just for reasons. There may be people from my job or people that I know that may be watching. So I'll just show you guys the base number. And so it'll be around this amount each month, just depending on how much contract work as well I get. I'll go into how I'm able to get contract work as well later in my blogs and videos. I'll just do a whole segment on that of what I'm able to do to get extra income coming in. So anyway, let's get started. Let's jump into the budget. I'll show you guys how much came in, how much went out, and where the debt went, and how much I paid off and how I'm making progress. So let's get started. So I use, by the way, forgot to mention, I use a budgeting program called YNAB, short for You Need a Budget. I use the YNAB for the older version just because I like the reporting aspect of it and just a view where I can see multiple months. Like I like to typically I have a view where I can see the current month I'm on. I like to see the previous month, and I like to see the month going forward as well, just so I can just have a view of how I'm doing. So I don't think they have this version available anymore. They're not supporting it, but I'll drop a link in the show notes and description just to show you guys where you guys can go and get YNAB if you're interested. They do have, like I said, I don't have YNAB 4 anymore, but they do have a online version of YNAB where you can use it and it syncs up with the cloud. It's the same thing. It's just a cloud-based version instead of the actual like desktop version that I'm using, which is still pretty cool. The desktop version that I'm using still allows me to sync up with the app on the go. I can put in transactions and update my budget from my iPhone. I have an iPhone app that syncs with it, um, just so I stay up to date and I can see exactly where I'm at with my budget and that make sure that I'm sticking with my budget. Okay, so let's jump in to it. So monthly bills. So you guys notice here for rent and mortgage, there is nothing here. The reason that been for the year while I'm paying off my debt, my partner who I stay with, we own a house together. We bought a house together. She is currently taking care of the mortgage, so that's a big help to me to help me up. I know everyone's not in a similar situation where they can do this, but we really wanted to get my debt paid off. She's debt free. We wanted to get my debt paid off this year. That's just a big goal of ours. So we agreed that she is going to take care of the mortgage side of things. I'm still going to take care of a couple of other smaller utilities. I'll take care of my phone bill as well. I do get a reimbursement for that, so that helps. Also, the internet and cable bill, I'm taking care of that bill as well as the next bill here, which is um, our security system with AT&T. So we just have everything through AT&T. It just makes it a lot easier to have everything through one company. So that's why I have that there. Also, I have a life insurance policy that I pay. I take care of that. And then my medical and dental insurance. I do get a reimbursement from that as well for my job. Doesn't quite cover the full cost of it. So I do have some out of pocket expenses there where I'm having to cover the gap just with the healthcare has gone up every year. I mean, this price is just for me, but that's another issue to discuss. But you got to have it or else you get penalized. Cart, so I paid next after that car insurance, which is about 90 bucks a month. That went up from the last 6 months, so I may look into ways that I can get that back down. I'm used to paying like 70 to 80 bucks a month for that. So I'll look at ways where I can cut costs there. And then we have a joint Spotify account, and then I have a app buffer that's like $10 a month that I use for social media and just some automation for sharing stuff. That helps me out a lot. So I think that's worth the $10. But anyway, here's my monthly bills that I have that I'm covering. It's about almost $800, and those that I cover that are outside of my debt, just bills that I'm covering this month. Again, I'll just go through each one. I pay $114.39 for my phone bill. Stayed on course there. Didn't go over there, so I hit my budget there. Same thing with internet and cable. $175.30. I may look at maybe getting rid of the cable and just go on the internet while I'm doing this, and that's still a lot of money to be paying for internet and cable. I don't know like the average cost, but $200, almost $200, just seems like a lot, especially given I don't really watch a lot of TV. Security, not going to do that. We have our house, so we want to make sure that we're covered there. Just gives me a peace of mind having that. So, not going to change that. Life insurance, of course, this is a term life insurance I have. I know for some of you that may be watching it, follow Dave Ramsey. He is a strong advocate for a life insurance policy. So I have that. I think I have a 20-year term locked in for myself. So I'm probably going to keep that, not going to get rid of that. Not really a huge expense each month, and definitely worth the price that I'm paying for the coverage that I get in case something happens to me. Um, and then medical insurance, I got to have that. So I'll keep that. Car insurance, like I said, I'm going to look at getting that knocked down. And then Spotify and buffer. All these categories, there was no issue here. I stayed on budget, didn't go over my budget. So the budget I set here, I'm good. So really proud of myself in this category. One thing I forgot to mention at the start of the call is with my budget. So the way I have my budget set up is, and I worked up to this, I didn't start out like this. I am 1 month ahead on my payments, income that comes in. So I try to stay a month ahead. Just to give you an example, so all the income that came in that you see right here for January, this is income that I got in December that I used for my January budget. Same thing, anything that came in this month in January goes towards February budget. That way I'm always a month ahead with my budget, and it's just easier for me to do that. I don't have like a variable income. I do with like depending on how much work I contract. But majority of my income, like it comes from my full-time job, and I just still like to be a month ahead for that because I like to pay all my bills at the first of the month, set my budget, and don't have to worry about it. It just gives me a peace of mind with that. Just knowing that I have money there and I just follow my budget. I mean, I look at my checking account, but I don't make decisions based off my checking account. That really helps me to stay on budget by just sticking to the categories and not worrying that I have money in my account. I always have money in there just because I have that buffer, but I still do my best to stick to the actual category budgets. So that's it for monthly bills. We'll jump into my debt next. So for debt, I have my loans here. I have my car loan, which is $283 a month. I have one of my bigger loans, which is American Education Systems, $395 a month. I pay there. And I also have my Fed loan, which I pay $168 a month, and then another Ed Financial loan that I pay $206. If you look at my previous video, I'll link that video in there as well. I go through and break down like the amounts of my debt and just the breakdown of like groups, because some of these two right here have different loans broken into them. Like this one is 2 loans put together, and this is like 3 or 4 loans that are together. So I do the whole breakdown of how they're breaking down each month. So good there with that. Moving on with debt payoff. After I did my budget, this is what I had left over. I do, as you can see up here, I forgot to mention as well, I do a zero base budget, which means that I give every single dollar that comes in for that month. I give it a job or I put it towards the category. So I always try to get this down to zero every month to make sure that every dollar I have coming in is going somewhere. So with that, I had from income coming in, I had 5,000 $12, well, $5,013 left over after I accumulated all my expenses. I'll do a video later too. I'll have a video that comes out this week when I do my February budgets to show you guys how I go through and do the zero based budget as well. So $5,013 is what I had. This is a little bit more because I had some money left over from last month in this category that I was putting that I just had saved up. So I just put that towards debt as well. So I ended up putting an extra payment about $5,472 towards my debt for the month of January. Monthly expenses. So I have fuel. Again, my partner is she's covering groceries. So I don't really have to worry about that. So that's a big help. So groceries and rent she covers. Again, like I mentioned earlier, I know this is not ideal situation for everyone. But for me, just having to work out in my situation to where we can just get this debt. Like I said, I have about $75,000 starting at the beginning of this month of debt. So we set an aggressive goal just to get it all knocked out in 12 months. And that was just one of the things that we set up in order to achieve that goal. All right. So fuel, $75. Here, I only spent $54 this month. So I had some fuel money left over this month. I also had some from the previous month where I didn't quite hit my fuel goal. So I'll just leave that there just to have a buffer, just with gas going up and down. And I was out traveling some this month as well, so I didn't drive as much. So I'll just leave that buffer there. Spending money, this has been one of the hardest ones for me. Usually it's at 200, but I think I had some money come in, just like a affiliate check or something, where I had an extra $8 that I just threw into this category. Um, so that I ended up going 182.51 with spending money. This is just like miscellaneous stuff that I have. I did travel. I had to go to San Francisco for a friend's bachelor party. So I did have some spending money in there where I spent from here. So I didn't really spend a lot, which is good. I think $200 is a good number for me, realistic. So I had about $25, 25, $26 left over that I'll just roll into next month. And then the haircut. I usually get my haircut touched up. I try to go once a week, but it's about $30 a month, so it's kind of expensive. So I can probably cut this down. So we agreed to just do $90. I didn't go every week, so I have some left over there as well. So I may end up getting this down to 60, where I just go twice a week for my haircut. So overall, with my monthly expenses, just my spending, I stayed on the budget there, so that's good going into next month. And hopefully, this is a trend that I continue throughout my journey to get my debt paid off. All right, rainy day predictable. So this is just categories I have in here, like car maintenance and vitamins and health, clothing if I need it. I was doing a lot of running, not doing any this year. This is just like annual fees if I have any with credit cards or anything like that. I save up skincare, workout gear. This was an old category from like a music festival they have here in Austin. I won't be attending that this year. So this category right here, basically, when I say rainy days predictable, just anything that I can predict that I know that's going to come up, I have in here. So I'll just continue to pad these categories each month, even though I may not spend from them. If I need something clothing wise or, vitamins or health, then I'll have money that's going towards it each month to just take from this category whenever I'm able to make purchases. I do know I have some prior engagements before I set the plan to get my debt paid off. I do know that I will be in a wedding in June of this year, one of my good friends. So I know I'll probably have to buy clothing and shoes for the wedding just because I'm one of the groomsmen. So I'm gonna start saving for that. That's into June. So once June gets here, I'll be good. I won't have to panic or go outside of my budget to get it covered because I'm saving for that each month. Um, Rating day unpredictable. So this is just like car repairs, medical, home repairs, um, anything like toll fees. I don't plan on anything happening in these categories, fingers crossed, except for car repairs or just issues with my car. So it's just like oil changes or getting an inspection sticker, stuff like that. So I didn't put anything there this month. I may in later months, but not this month. I don't have anything coming up. I just paid to get an oil change. That was like the biggest thing coming up with my car. So I'll start in the upcoming months putting money into these categories. Saving goals. Again, like I stated, I am traveling. The Hawaii trip that we're going to later this month has already been paid for, so that's paid ahead of time. So I don't have to worry um, about that. It's already covered. I will need to pay for my trip to DC, so I'm gonna have to start padding this category. Hopefully, what I plan on doing is when I get my income tax sometime next month, then I will go ahead and take some of that money and just go ahead and just fully fund this travel category. That way, I don't have to worry about it, and again, I don't have to get outside of my budget or be in a panic when it comes time to buy these items. Um, gifts just like for weddings and stuff like that. And Christmas, I'm just starting early. I'll put $40 a month there. Weddings, birthdays, Christmas, anything gifts, I'm just gonna put $40 a month there and just make sure that I stay within the budget. I did have to buy a gift this month or something. No, that's just income that came in that went towards gifts. So nothing there in that category. These are just items that came in later in the month. I do have like a PayPal debit card, so I get like 1% cash back or whatever. So I use that to pay my bills and stuff. So I at the end of each month, whatever interest or cash back I get, I just throw into this as well, just to help out with that category. Um, Emergency fund. So I have about $19,600 in my emergency fund. I know some people say I should just use my emergency fund. I know Dave Ramsey specifically says to use all the cash and everything you have and get it down to $1,000, and the rest goes towards debt. I haven't quite came to grasp with being able to just take that chunk and just paying off my debts. I don't know. I guess it's just I've been like to a point where I wasn't making money and I wasn't employed, but I don't know. It was a while back in 2008 when the economy went down, so I had a rough patch there. So I don't know. I always just feel good just to have some type of emergency fund, but we'll see as we get closer. I may just it's going to be one of those things where I just have to pull the trigger and just go ahead and just pay it off and not worry about it. But for right now, I am gonna just use my monthly income and just hustle to get some side income to help pay off my debt. And who knows, maybe once I get closer to getting my debt paid down, I may just take that lump sum and pay it off. But for now, I'll leave it there. I did have some. I did put some money there. I tried to put a little bit there, just in the contract work I had. So that's why the $82. The $84 is there as well. Probably should go under extra income. Nothing came in here in these categories. Like I said, I put whatever extra I had, a little bit of extra I had that came in later this month. I put it in here to my emergency fund. I'm just probably just gonna get that up to 20,000 and just leave it. That way, I don't have to keep worrying about putting income there. Hidden categories, nothing there. So that is it with my budget. If you guys would maybe drop some comments below, just give some feedback on if you like this format, if I should slow down, if I should go into more details about things. I know I may get the question. Someone posted an earlier video about my income. Like I said, I don't want to put my exact amount of income in there. I mean, you guys can do the math if you want, but I'll show what comes in for the month, but I'm not going to do just like a straight breakdown. Like I said earlier, I may do something where I show like how I'm doing contract work to get extra income. I may break that out some months just so you guys can see. And if I'm training or just giving ideas of how you guys can also generate extra income to help pay your debt off, I will, go into that more detail. But anyway, that is my pay down for the month. So I ended up paying, if you do the math, I ended up paying about $6,500 towards my debt. So really proud of this month. Put a lot to it. I think that brings me down to, I want to say around like 68,000 for the remaining debt that I have. So I'm making some progress there this month with my debt. I'll do another video that just gives an update of my debt and where I'm at. Just talk specifically about that so you guys can see. But anyway, wanted to give you guys a preview of my budget for January 2017, how I did, and how I'm feeling about it. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.